Hi there, so the Game Awards are happening very soon now, and I thought, let's talk about them for a little bit. Let's make some predictions. It's always a fun time at the end of the year to kind of get some new announcements in the industry, because obviously E3 was half a year ago now, so it's been a while since we've had some cool stuff to talk about. So let's make some predictions for this show. Now, getting right into it, first of all, obviously we just had the State of Play that PlayStation held, which was a pretty decent show, I think, overall for what they had. And we had the confirmation that Ghost of Tsushima will get an extended trailer at the Game Awards, which is really exciting because it's been quite some time since we've seen anything on Ghost of Tsushima, because the last time we saw anything was E3 in 2018. So I'm really stoked for that game. I've been looking forward to it since its announcement in 2017, so it's great to see that we're getting more information on that particular game, because I was kind of convinced that perhaps Sony would only want to focus on The Last of Us Part 2 prior to that game coming out, but it's good to see that no, they're giving Ghost of Tsushima a bit of a spotlight as well, because I presume that that'll end up releasing probably in the August-September area before PS5. But regardless, that's not a prediction, that's a fact. It's going to be there, so that's cool. Jeff Keighley, who's of course the producer and the creator of the Game Awards, has also said that there are going to be 10 new game announcements. I don't know exactly what that means, whether it's specifically 10 new games or 10 new announcements, and they could include games that are already out and DLC and things like that. I got no idea what he specifically means, but regardless, that is a bit of a basis we can kind of jump off of. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of fun, cool surprises that people aren't seeing coming, but I want to go and make some more logical kind of hypotheses today regarding what's going to be there. I guess first of all, I'll talk about, there's been a few leaks circulating the internet regarding this show, as there always is for not only the Game Awards, but obviously for any major event in the industry. And I haven't really looked at these leaks, to be honest. I don't really know what they say. I've heard anecdotally just from other people tweeting around that apparently Skate 4 is mentioned on one of these leaks. I just don't trust these leaks. It could very well be true, it could very well be accurate. In my experience, they're 90% of the time not real, and I just, at this point, to be perfectly honest, don't believe in any kind of Skate 4 announcement occurring anytime soon. I think that EA just isn't interested in making a skate game. Obviously, I think it'd be really cool if they did, and I think it'd be a huge hype announcement, but I just don't see it happening. I just think it's a bit of a wish list kind of announcement. It's something that people really want to happen. It's a franchise that has a fantastic, really passionate fan base, and I think that a lot of people have been trying to will it into existence for quite some time. So I think it being a part of this leak, quote unquote, is just another example of fans just really wanting it to happen, so let's put it on this fake leak we made. But hell, I'd love to be wrong on that one. I've got no idea, is that a prediction? I guess it is. No Skate 4. There you go, that's a prediction right there. No Skate 4. Bit pessimistic to start, but hey, I don't think it's going to be there. Crash Bandicoot. We know we've had some interesting rumours and stuff circulating regarding a new Crash game potentially coming. It all started, I believe, obviously outside of just common sense, that we know Vicarious Visions developed the Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy, which released in 2017, and we haven't heard anything from them since, because Toys for Bob developed the Spyro Trilogy, and I don't recall the studio that developed Crash Team Racing this year. But regardless, that was not Vicarious Visions. Vicarious Visions has been off the radar for over 2 years now, and I think it's pretty obvious that they've been making a brand new Crash game because of the success of these kind of retro platformers that Activision has been publishing over the last few years. They've definitely, I think it's been obvious they've been working on a new Crash game. It's been rumoured to be called Crash Bandicoot Worlds, and its existence was supported by the appearance of a new Crash Bandicoot mask, power-up kind of thing, I guess, a Crash Bandicoot asset that we'd never seen before. It's never been in a Crash Bandicoot game ever, appearing in a PlayStation commercial just a few weeks ago. So, I mean, look, the evidence seems pretty clear to me. This isn't a very crazy prediction, it's not that out there. The fact it wasn't at State of Play, I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Crash Bandicoot Worlds is most likely real. Whether or not it's called that, I don't know, but Vicarious Visions, new Crash Bandicoot game, I think it's going to be here. It also makes sense because CTR was, of course, revealed at the Game Awards last year, so Activision has a history with liking to make those announcements at this show. Makes a lot of sense. Lock it in to happen, I can guarantee it. Alright, let's get into the Warner Brothers kind of section of this video I want to touch on briefly. So, WB Montreal, Batman Arkham Origins, released in 2013. What have they been doing since? We don't know for sure. What have they probably been doing? Well, making a new Batman game, probably, right? continuing on the Arkham series. Look, I think it's very likely we get a Batman Arkham announcement here. There were rumours again going around that Batman Arkham Legacy has been what they're working on. We know that there is a Batman game in development in WB that was based on Twitter teasers, has something to do with the Court of Owls. I'm not an expert on Batman or anything like that, but I've talked about it on the channel before, so we know WB is working on some kind of Batman game. And it's very likely it's WB Montreal developing it because they have a history with making, obviously, Batman games, and I'm pretty sure Rocksteady's already confirmed they're not making a Batman game. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's already been said somewhere at some point. Batman Arkham Legacy sounds like a feasible title. It makes a lot of sense. It's a pretty cool title, I think. I think it's something, it doesn't sound unrealistic at all, so hey, you know, people have been waiting to see what the hell WB is going to do next with Batman for quite some time. I think this is the place, you know. I feel like this is the time. They've never had a history of revealing Batman games, or WB, to my recollection, hasn't really had any history with revealing anything at the Game Awards, but, I mean, crazy things have happened. I think that it makes a lot of sense to just say it here finally. And another game that continues to come up in conversation whenever one of these events is happening, in predictions, discussions, is this Harry Potter RPG that leaked now around over a year ago, I believe, right? In like September, October 2018, this game leaked with a full trailer. And we still haven't heard anything officially from it. Obviously, the notion that the game and the leak was fake all along definitely exists. That's possible. I don't believe that at all personally. I think that the game absolutely is real, because I believe the story that Avalanche is developing it. I think that makes a lot of sense. Ever since Disney Infinity was cancelled, they have been off the radar. I think they're a good fit for a Harry Potter game. So that is another very real possibility for a WB game to be announced. I don't think WB would announce or reveal 2 games or more than one game at this show. I think it's very clearly gonna, for them, be one or the other. Is it gonna be Batman? Is it gonna be Harry Potter? Either way, I'm gonna be excited because the prospect of both of those games is pretty cool to me. But I don't see them doubling up and kind of cannibalizing their own message there with 2 different games from the same publisher, from 2 very well-known IPs. So that's why I'm going to say that the Harry Potter RPG won't be there. I think if I'm going to have to pick one, I'm going to go with Batman, just because we don't know exactly what state of development Harry Potter is currently in, whereas we do know the rough timeline of WB Montreal developing a Batman game for the past several years. So I think that makes more sense. I think it's likely to be more polished and ready to go. And I think we get Batman Arkham Legacy releasing probably before next gen next year sometime. But like I said, since WB has no history of showing up at these shows, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually say nothing at all. Very well could be neither of these games, but like I said, if they're going to reveal something, I think it's Batman. For PlayStation, I don't think there'll be anything other than the Ghost of Tsushima stuff. For Microsoft, they don't really have a history with doing anything regarding their first-party titles at these shows, so I don't think they'll have anything to say personally. Nintendo, however, does have a very big history of doing stuff at the Game Awards. Major Nintendo reveals have taken place at this show over the years, to varying extents. Over the years, we had a fair few major Breath of the Wild updates prior to that game coming out at this show, so the possibility of the Breath of the Wild sequel getting information exists. I don't think that will happen just because it feels a little bit early. I feel like they might want to wait till E3 to continue talking about that game a little bit more. But hey, it's certainly possible. Nintendo's definitely going to do something noteworthy here, possibly more than one thing noteworthy here. But I think the obvious line of thinking here is that they do talk about Smash DLC, because we know in the current Season Pass, Fighter Pass of Smash, that there is one fighter remaining, and I think that's got to be revealed here, because the first fighter this time last year, which was of course Joker from Persona 5, that fighter was revealed at the Game Awards last year. I think it makes a lot of sense to conclude the cycle of DLC for the game by announcing the last fighter from this season of the Season Pass, or whatever the hell the DLC is for Smash. I think it makes a lot of sense for that character to be revealed at this show, because that would likely be a pretty big headline for Nintendo, and like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they also revealed something else, I had something else to talk about. Because at the Game Awards in 2017, not only did they announce that the Breath of the Wild DLC was going to be releasing that night, they also revealed Bayonetta 3 at that show. So that's 2 very big announcements 2 years ago, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens again. So those are a few big publisher, big games, big franchises that could potentially come up at the Game Awards, and my thoughts on whether or not they'll be there. Obviously, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that went over my head that will be there. That'll be a ton of fun to watch. I'm excited for the show as always. It's fun to talk about, predict this kind of stuff. So let me know some of your predictions for the Game Awards in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. That'd be great. Definitely appreciate that. And you know, subscribe. Check out the other stuff on the channel. Cheers. Thanks. This has been SirCazz. Farewell.